And in this short video, I want to talk about how animation students and graduates can find internships in animation. And this is one of the questions I get asked most often is, how do I get an internship in animation? Often people will say to me, can I have an internship? As if I sort of have some in my back pocket ready to hand out. And regrettably, that is not the case. The important thing to say about finding internships, and I'm going to give you 8 ways to make sure that you actually do find one. But the most important thing to remember about finding an internship is that it's a lot like finding a job. The only difference between finding an internship and a job is it's actually harder to find an internship. And one of the reasons for that is that internships, they used to be, most companies don't really run internships as a formal program, except the bigger ones, because they are expensive to run and they don't really add a whole lot of value for the company. They're mainly good for the interns, they're not really that useful for the company. And because there's been a kind of a crackdown on internships that don't pay in recent years, now companies are being pressured into paying their interns. And again, this adds to the cost of having interns and is one of the reasons why there seem to be fewer internships around than there used to be. That doesn't mean to say there are no internships. You can find internships. You just have to think of it as like finding a job, only it's in some ways more difficult to get. But they can be found, and here is my top list of ways of going about getting them. So number 1, make lists. So you want to be, this is just like looking for work in the animation industry. Make a list of all the animation companies you can find. Email me if you want an up-to-date list or reasonably up-to-date list of animation and visual effects houses in the UK. But of course there are thousands worldwide. Make lists of all the companies that you would like to get an internship at. Do not assume that just because an internship isn't advertised, that it means they don't offer internships. It might be that you can get some work experience with a company on a kind of informal basis. In fact, you're much more likely to get that than you are to find one of the publicly advertised internships, like say the ones that are run by Pixar or Framestore or Blue Zoo. Those are very, very competitive, and literally thousands of people will be applying for them. So you're much more likely to get an internship with a small company that's kind of off the radar than you are with one of the big animation houses. So job 1 is to make lists. Number 2, polish your demo reel. Make sure your demo reel is ready. Your demo reel should be online. It should be hosted at your blog or website. If you watch these videos, you'll hear me talking about this a lot. You want to be at LinkedIn. You want your LinkedIn profile to be really nice. You want to connect to me at LinkedIn. Through me, you can collect all the recruiters in the industry, or at least many of them, because I'm connected to thousands of people in the animation industry, and you can connect to them through me. And you want your demo reel to be hosted at LinkedIn. It needs to be clickable so that somebody looking at your work can find you at LinkedIn, see your work experience, which in effect is the kind of modern CV or resume, and then click on your demo reel. So make sure that that is ready and easy to find. Rule number 3, be online. This is kind of the same as rule number 2 in a way. If you're on LinkedIn, you're going to be online. It's good to have your own blog or website. Failing that, be at all the usual places, be at Vimeo, be it YouTube. Don't password protect your demo reel. Be on Instagram. Be easy to find. Make it easier for people to find you. And also make sure that on your demo reel you've got your contact details on there. So at the beginning and the end of your demo reel, it should have your name, your website or blog, your email address, and your telephone number. Make it easy, and that's at the beginning and the end. Because remember, if somebody's made it all the way through their demo reel, they're probably going to want to contact you. And if you don't have your contact details there, they might not. So make it easy for them. Rule number 4, polish your CV or resume. Make sure you've got a resume or a CV in the UK. Obviously, that LinkedIn kind of does that for you now because they're going to make you type in your work experience. Keep your resume or CV really short. 1 page is fine, 2 pages maximum. Any more than that, people are not going to read it. So keep it short and keep it relevant. Number 5, start sending out letters. Start sending, and when I say letters, this feels kind of old-fashioned, but you're going to need to draft a nice cover letter for each company. Don't just send out a mass email. If you send, dear animation studio, I want an internship, I mean, no one is going to respond to that. But if you send out a good cover letter, there are various blog posts about how to write a cover letter, so search for those at the blog. Write a good cover letter, show that you're interested in that company, explain why you're interested in that company, maybe flatter them a little, tell them how much you love their work. Everyone likes a little light flattery. but show that you're interested and you've done some research, and you're not just another person who wants a job, right? You've got to separate yourself out from the crowd. So draft a nice letter, contact the studios, find out who does the hiring. Not dear sir / madam emails, but find the right person and get to know them. Find them at LinkedIn. Get in touch. Rule number 6: get ready for interview. Again, this is quite similar in as much as if someone has invited you for interview, then that means they're really interested in you because they like your demo reel, they like your work. You've got a really good chance now of getting in, unless you blow it. So what you want to do now, the most important thing at an interview is to research the company that you're being interviewed by. So if it's Sourdough Loaf Animation or whatever it is, Pink Submarine Visual Effects, make sure you know what Pink Submarine Visual Effects have done. Make sure you know the movies they've worked on, the TV shows, the stuff they've done. Show that you've taken an interest in the company, that you know their work, or at least know about their work, and that you know what they do. And it's not just another generic application for you. Rule number 7, this is really important, probably should be up at the top. Exploit your connections. Now, it's still the case in our industry that soft connections count. Somebody who's a friend of a friend, and this isn't because people are trying to be prejudiced or kind of keep it in the family. It's because people want reassurance that somebody who knows you will vouch for you, because this is a business in which people need to perform. They need to know that they can rely on you. And they don't want to bring you in on Monday morning and find you not showing up on time or complaining or, God forbid, downloading client confidential stuff and posting it on the internet. So having someone who can vouch for you and say that you're a good person and you've got clean fingernails and you've tied your shoelaces, and you're not going to steal the lunch money, that's important. So if you've got connections in the industry, and one of the reasons why you might study with me or either at Animation Apprentice or at Escape Studios is through the connections that you're going to gain there. And that stuff is important. Anyone, and don't be ashamed to connect with people at LinkedIn. Ask to meet people for a coffee. Ask for 10 minutes of their time on the phone for advice. That stuff is all fine. But definitely exploiting connections can be a very powerful tool in our industry. And rule number 8, finally, of the 8 rules is do not give up. You got to be the rhino. That's what I tell my students, be the rhino. Rhinos have thick hides. If you apply for a job and you do not get it, that does not weaken you, it strengthens you. Not getting hired is just a necessary stage to getting hired. They used to say at Disney in the old days that they rejected everyone the first time out of hand, no matter how talented they were, just to see if they really wanted the job badly enough that they would apply again. I don't know if that was actually true, but that's what they used to say at Disney. Don't give up. I mean, you got to keep going for it. And most times you won't get hired. You're going to send out a lot of applications and you're going to get a lot of rejection, but it doesn't hurt you. It makes you stronger. And you got to be the rhino. You got to have tough hide. You've got to get used to it, and you've got to apply for lots and lots and lots of different opportunities. So the key with internships, don't wait for internships to come for you. Find your own opportunities. Look at companies, look at whose work might be a good fit for your skills. Email them, contact them, ask them if you can come in. We'll talk in a separate video about money, but just to give you the brief overview, I would not ask to be paid for an internship. Because it will make you less likely to actually get one, though you might ask for train fare or something like that. Of course, since COVID, it's all the whole environment of jobs and internships has changed a great deal. But hopefully things will, as I speak, we're getting back to work at Escape Studios, and hopefully the situation will gradually start to ease and make things easier. So I hope that's helpful. Those are my 8 top tips for finding an internship in the animation industry.